Hi folks, Dr. Hale here. In this video, I'm going to tell you 5 tips for designing a successful informative speech. The goal of an informative speech is to help your audience understand something, ideally something new, interesting, or engaging, something that the audience doesn't know that you can explain or unpack. The key thing here to remember is that you're not trying to persuade your audience to develop argumentation or to advance a polemic. This genre is about knowledge transfer. In other words, how can you get information and ideas about a topic out of your head into someone else's? All right, tip number 1, choosing the right topic. The hardest part about making an informative speech is getting started, and that means settling on a particular topic. Sure, you can go online and Google informative speech topics and then just pick one that might work for you, but I think it's best to pick a speech topic with your career or professional goals in mind. Ask yourself, what are you interested in? What do you want to do in your career? Answer that and then find topics that sound interesting within that field of knowledge. For me, for instance, I'm interested in digital technology, so I might talk about NFTs or the history of memes or something as concrete as the newest features of a particular editing application. Number 2, finding useful resources. Okay, so this one can be a bit tricky. There's a lot of really crappy information floating out there on a range of topics, so it's important to keep your guard up when you're looking for information. So here's what I'd recommend. If you're a university student or if you have access to these materials via your local library or some other means, you probably won't go wrong if you find information from a reputable digital database like JSTOR, Project Muse, EBSCOhost, or LexisNexis. There's a lot of them. Look for peer-reviewed articles in reputable journals and find news articles from trusted news organizations that aren't extremely left or right-wing. I'd honestly avoid social media as a source altogether, and generally I'd stay away from Wikipedia, but it's not a bad place to start if you're looking and just getting yourself oriented to a particular field of knowledge. Just check the text and author's reference throughout a particular entry, down at the bottom usually. That can be a pretty good starting point. When looking online, I would avoid .coms. Instead, look at respected sources like Pew Research, .orgs, .edus, and so on. Basically, try to avoid commercial enterprises that have something to gain by selling you on a product or service or particular point of view. You should always be asking yourself, who has written this, what institution, what individual, and what do they have to gain from this document or this text or this piece of media that I'm consuming? Well, what can you do about all this? Well, I'd suggest that you triangulate your sources as much as possible. What I mean by this is, if you're researching some current political topic, let's say, look for a range of genuine news sources and compare what you find. For example, if NPR says it was sunny on October 10 and National Geographic says it was sunny on October 10,
but Breitbart says that Obama has blocked out the sun so that he may feed on your babies,
well, that discrepancy is important. So triangulate your sources as much as possible to get a fuller picture of a particular situation or topic. If you're new to a topic, let's say you're an undergraduate or a new graduate student, it's likely that you're entering into long-standing intellectual traditions and conversations. That's fine, everyone starts somewhere. But I'm going to wholeheartedly recommend that you look for 2 particular kinds of text that will give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. The first are what are called review essays. These are usually written by a senior expert. She, he, or they will review an entire body of work from the perspective of someone who knows the ins and outs of an entire topic or field of study. The Annual Review of Anthropology is a great example of this. If you want to learn what anthropologists have been saying, writing, or thinking about social media or material culture or the environment for, let's say, the last few decades, you could look in this journal, search those keywords, and you'll get a great overview of a huge body of literature all in one place. The same is true for another kind of writing that I'll recommend that you check out. Dissertations. These are ginormous papers written by scholars who are pursuing their PhDs. Most of the time, though not always, a dissertation will contain a section called Lit Review. It'll often even be labeled Literature Review. Once you've figured out what your topic is, go online to a database called ProQuest. You can find dissertations on a range of topics in a variety of fields. Search for your topic, download a few recent dissertations, and check out those lit reviews. These will give you a pretty good snapshot of a body of scholarship and thinking from a recent or new scholar. Likewise, I'd also recommend that you look at book reviews of recent important works that you see cited all of the time, and remember to skim abstracts of articles. They should theoretically be telling you what an author or authors are trying to accomplish in their work. Number 3, organizing and structuring. Once you've got all of your information assembled, consume it, take notes, and then start organizing it. You need to structure your information and your speech in such a way that you guide your audience through your topic logically. Your audience might need to know X thing before you can fully understand Y thing, so process your information, organize it, and create a structure that flows from one topic to the next. Number 4, drafting. You need to get comfortable being bad at this, thinking in drafts, revisions, iteratively. Your speech isn't going to be good until it is, or it's not going to be done until it is. So throw ideas down on the page or the screen, see what sticks, revise, tighten, and reorganize until you're left with only the essential information that's organized and flows well. Number 5, making it interesting. Basically, you want to present your information in a way that's clear and concise. It doesn't necessarily have to be bite-sized, but you want it to be memorable, like a hook of a song. If you were to ask someone to hum their favorite progressive metal solo or math rock drum fill, I'd wager that the average person wouldn't know what that means and wouldn't be able to make that happen. But ask them to hum a melody from some top 10 song, and they'll probably be able to do just that. Now, I'm not saying dumb your ideas or material down. No, don't do that. But I am saying try to make your speech memorable and impactful by presenting your audience with ideas and information that sticks with them. All right, now really quickly, I just want to add 3 things that you should avoid. First and foremost, stay on task. Don't veer off into a persuasive speech. It's your job to inform your audience. Do that. Don't misunderstand your assignment or your goal. Inform. Second, when you're speaking, don't forget to cite your sources. And this brings me to my last point. When you're citing your sources during your speech, don't do it exactly the same way every single time. That repetition is going to distract from your message. What I mean by this is don't say, according to X, every single time you mention an author or a study. Instead, vary it up like this. In her recent monograph entitled, whatever, Y Scholar argues that, in the next citation, you could say, according to a recent Pew Research Center study, 9 out of 10 dentists, ... Next time around, say something like anthropologist Y and Z found that, and then explain what they found in their study. Vary up your oral citations, and this will help your speech not only flow better, it won't distract from your message. All right, thanks for watching. I hope this helps you with those informative speeches that you're working on. Take care, subscribe, like, all that good stuff.